Hello and welcome to the news at 6. The news is live on Joy 99.7 and hits 103.9 FM. Shine 96.9 FM, Akachi Radio Max 105.1 in Takrady and Ridge 104.9 Tamale. Get radio, TV and online content on the myjoyonline.com interactive app for tuitions to pay more than 25 million cedis or risk legal action.
The whole airport also is under disconnection. They couldn't make payments Thursday, but we had to disconnect them.
With sleepless nights over the cost of dialysis.
A session like I'm doing today is 380 cedis. And
security agencies to stop illegal mining on cocoa farms.
To tax the Electoral Commission to be fair, just and neutral in the discharge of his duties as he swore in new members.
Remember that now into submission.
We've got details of these and more here on the news at 6 with me, Bernice Abubeidulansa. Thanks for choosing us. This is Joy News, independent. The ECG has disconnected power to the whole airport. It's also handed a 48-hour ultimatum to 3 state institutions of its renewed efforts at raising revenue through aggressive collection. Leila Abubakar is manager of external communications at ECG.
Some of the debt was time, and so we'll be going back to the premises of Parliament, of GBC, and of Ghana Airports to retrieve the rest of the money.
Leila Abubakar also says failure of all.
Some of them have defaulted and we are going after our monies. They will be served letters accordingly. When the task force disconnects, and with that there's a time on it. It's stated clearly in the letter. If you default on the time, then we can start a legal process.
Volta Regional Public Relations Officer of the company speaking about the disconnection to the whole airport.
UHAS, that's University of Health and Allied Sciences, paid 500,000 Ghana cedis. The whole airport also is under disconnection. They couldn't make payments. To
Regional Public Relations Officer of the ECG, Benjamin Entry, speaking about the disconnection of the whole airport and other facilities. On the sides of the busy Accra-Kumasi highway for more than 1 week, the tanker loaded with liquefied petroleum gas was left there after it was involved in a road accident. It took fire personnel several hours. Now had been banned from setting fire, fled their homes over fears of a possible explosion. Ohim Interior has more.
Author Richard Aweso described the exercise as highly risky.
There was a falling risk. There could also be any possible ignition, especially when there is leakage. And in the process, anything can happen. So what we did was to deploy our operational strategy was to discharge the content into a new tanker. However, we had some challenges because some power generation issues. So that delayed us a bit. So eventually,
cooking at home without hassle. They also commended Joy News.
We can afford some sleep today for the first time.
Ohim Interior with that report. Now to our Living Standard series. Chronic kidney patients spending at least 500 cedis weekly on dialysis is continuously becoming a nightmare in a harsh economy. Her only saving grace is to get a transplant with cost.
Deborah is at the end stage of chronic kidney disease. This means her kidneys have lost their function. Her kidneys. To manage her condition and preserve her life longer, she's now restricted in the quantity of food and liquid she takes. According to her, the process
it stays in our body till we come on the machine and the machine draws it out. So sometimes our muscles react to it. It gives us.
Eventually lost a job and source of income because she couldn't work effectively. She has also lost her marriage and has very little support.
A session like I'm doing today is 380 cedis, and that's the 250.
You heard Mamiesi Nyamita Thompson with today's edition of our Living Standard series and the discharge of their duty and out to spearhead the implementation of the EC's plans and programs for the next elections. President Akufo.
An independence and fairness of mind to the discharge of their duties. As you begin work, you will find no honeymoon period. Neither you will use to surmount the hurdles before you. Remember that now, more than ever, every single...
President Akufo-Addo, then, before we go, when you think about waterfalls, which names come to mind? Perhaps Vli, Tagbo, or Boti Falls is there?
Today, we have made the 80-kilometer journey from Kumasi to explore this rather large and their ever-present armed forest rangers, who told us that before coming to the sanctuary, visitors are required to first go to the district office in Kumewu to buy license of any trace of animal life whatsoever. Makes the mental image of this vast field, filled to bursting with buffalo, even more enthralling.
So what is the beautiful? And is it connected to the waterfall?
Yes, please. From here to waterfall, yes.
So we are going to cross?
Yeah, we can cross it.
Okay. You go first. Let me see how you do it. If not for anything at all, even before you see the waterfall, you would have taken 100 beautiful nature wildlife selfies.
Of Joe News at 6 with me, Bernice Abubedu. Our top story: ECG disconnects power to Ho Airport as it hands a 48-hour ultimatum to 3 state institutions to pay more than